Friday, everybody, and welcome to the Own It Show. I am so happy and grateful to be here with all of you today. Today, we have a special guest on all things holistic fertility. So welcome Ashley Holmes, the CEO and founder of Holistic Fertility Coach, Inc. She helps women struggling with infertility to conceive with ease using her holistic practices, which we're going to learn more about today. So thank you so much for joining us. Ashley, please introduce yourself.
Thank you for having me here, and I'm excited to be here, and I'm excited to share sort of chose me and why I stepped into this role to now have women who are in that place.
I love it. It is so great when we can take our own struggles and turn around and serve other people with them. And all you who know me, that's exactly what I've done. I joke that the universe or God gave me so many amazing lessons so young so that I could turn around and then help and serve others. So we're so grateful to be able to, have the gift to turn around and share our knowledge with others. So give us a little bit about who you help, how you help them, and why you help them.
So I help women who are currently struggling to conceive, and it is customized to them to move with them through their cycle so that they don't feel alone, and so that they're given that energy medicine along the way when needed to really take a fully holistic approach for mind, body, and spirit.
I love it. So you guys know my main approach is holistic: mind, body, spirit, connecting to our soul purpose. And traditional systems only look at, the physical body. And even when they do, they're missing so many components of it. And I wanted to really have Ashley on the show today because how many conversations are we talking about women's menstruation cycles and healthy fertility, and what does it actually look like to prepare for it, and how can we do it successfully? There's vitamins, there's energy work, there's personal stuff, there's inner healing, mindset work, but there's so much that goes into it, right? We're creating another little human being. I don't take it lightly. Making humans, I don't take lightly. So I really, really think it's something super important. And to me, it's really important that we give every person their best chance. And I believe in order to give them their best chance, it means pre-pregnancy and really preparing for that. And that is, in the realm of our holistic fertility and really diving into that. I also wanted to bring this to the conversation today because I also know that miscarriages and pregnancy struggles are not commonly talked about. And so, our goal here is to help uncommon knowledge become common. So let's talk about women and our reproductive cycles and fertility and making humans today and how we can give them their best chance. So, Ashley, what tips and tricks do you have for us today?
Really, I think it's important, not just if you're trying to conceive, but to do something for your mind, body, and spirit so that you do feel your best, so that you are connected to your true self. You learn to nourish yourself from the inside out, and that is important after pregnancy. So really prioritizing yourself and slowing down in this busy world and bustle and go, that kind of needs to take a back seat and find those pieces and parts of yourself that find calm, balance, all of those things that you're really seeking, and balancing that yin and so yang, and to find that, that inner calm, be with whatever is going on and not get swept away with the chaos and the struggle, all of the appointments and medications and all of those other things, to really balance doesn't become another job.
I love that. And so that you can enjoy the journey of making your own little human.
Yes, because I think of what it's meant to look like, what it's meant to feel like, can be like, and when those things don't add up, it's really disappointing, and we can kind of get lost in that.
I love that. So, what does it mean to balance the yin and yang?
Really, we are sort of yang beings, and especially in this day and age, in this culture, doing things like meditation and yin yoga and in your chakras and incorporating these slower activities. First was approached with them, I thought, well, what is that going to do for me? And I approached it in the right way. I approached it in a yang way, still trying to do a yin class, like it was sore, and realizing I really needed to surrender. I really needed to slow down and to pay attention, because our body is always giving us messages, but are we looking up those signals and those cues?
Absolutely. So our body is always giving us messages. I actually said this to somebody the other day. They're like, I'm sick. I'm like, it's called physiological feedback. What is your body telling you? And so the yin and the yang, the masculine, the feminine energy, finding the balance between them both. So when we're in the masculine energy, it's like a do. When we're in the yin and the relaxation energy, and the female, the feminine divine, we're in the flow. We're taking time to rest. We're doing stretching exercises. We're meditating. We are human beings, not doings. So yes, we need to be in the masculine energy to get stuff done. But you cannot stay there. That's where we burn out and we get ourselves into an unhealthy cycle. And that's where fertility becomes challenging. Do know that every single thought we has a physiological response on our body. And so if we're always in fight or flight and stress mode, then how can we cultivate a healthy environment to actually grow a full, healthy human being inside of us? What you have, you are birthing your child with, and what you do not have, you cannot help give them. So if that's unhealthy gut, if that's, you're in a stressful environment, I do understand life happens. I'm not saying anyone's baby is going to be born in any way other than perfect health. Okay. But I do understand the balance between the doing and the being. And I used to be, the human ninja, I called it. And I would just do. And then one of my mentors was like, do you know ninjas are actually human? Do you know they take breaks and they rest and they recover? And then I realized why I kept getting into burnout cycles was because I was missing the yin. I was missing the relaxation. I was missing the downtime. And sometimes we think if we sit in that and we're not being productive, we're not achieving. But there are cycles in seasons, there are cycles in life, and there are times to do, and then there's times to just be. So making sure that we find that harmonious balance is so important in all areas of our life, but specifically in that fertility, owning that energy that we allow ourselves to be in and allow into our environment. So I had to dive into that because I know a lot of people that might be a new concept, but when we were kids, yin and yang signs, they were everywhere, right? It was so cool to draw them and what have you. And then I was like, they fell out. Like people stopped talking about energy and yin and yang, but let's bring that back because we know it's so important. So great tip. Let's take your next tip now.
I think that many misperceptions and conceptions healthy for you, and a holistic and approach that I use is incorporating Ayurveda, because that is working with your inborn constitution, myself in the right way. And because I am Pitta predominant, it means letting go of my fiery hot yoga practice and letting go of things serve me so that I can live a more balanced lifestyle. And that was a learning self, and it's unfolding every day, but I know what brings me into balance, and I can easily course correct instead of going further and further down.
I love that. So one is the awareness to be able to course correct. And two is the awareness to be able to understand yourself a bit. So Ayurvedic studies, I studied in the Institute of Holistic Nutrition. I am also Pitta dominant, which means we are fire signs, we are hot signs. And I wore the red today to bring the energy because I'm teaching all day long. So I'm wearing red on purpose. But being mindful. So she said, like, your ingrained constitution. We've had people on our podcast talking about human design, your alignment with your star story, where the stars were when you were born, and working with astrology. There's so many interesting different ways that we can actually start to understand our body more. And really take that full holistic approach. And for everyone, it may work for you, it may not work for you. I also work with the Kabbalah and Kabbalah life analysis, and that also is a full holistic approach in looking at where the stars aligned when you were born, and what's your soul purpose and mission to do while you're here. And that might align with some. And I always say we do have free choice. So you get to decide and you get to choose. And I know from my practices that when I do pay attention to these, it's kind of like you have two versions of you, the higher self and the lower self. And when we follow things like Ayurveda, well, I'll speak for myself. When I follow things like Ayurvedic practices, human design reading, following my Kabbalah life analysis, and taking all these things into effect, I get more in tune with my higher self, how I would behave, how I act, how I think. And then on the lower side, positive sides like showing up integrous, lower sides like not doing what I said I was going to do when I said I was going to do it, right? So we want to just start to be aware of what our higher self looks like and our lower self looks like, and leaning into that. And I truly believe when we tap into that holistic approach, we get to truly tap into what our higher self is calling and asking for. So I absolutely love that, and taking that full holistic approach and looking at what is your design and what aligns with it and what you can do to better serve yourself with who you are and your unique imprint. And what's your next tip? I love them. Keep them coming.
My next one would be that really to evaluate your life and everything within them, because we all have stress, and a little what are we doing with that stress? How are we coping with that, and how are we moving through that so that it's energetically in our bodies, and so we're not holding on to it, and we're not draining our life force energy, so that we can shift it and notice and witness it, but not allow it to bring us down.
Hear what she just said. Notice it, witness it. Do not allow it to bring you down. So the awareness is the really key component. And I find tapping into that awareness of ourself and how we operate and what's in our highest self, we have to have an awareness. And how do we get more into awareness and out of autopilot? I love things like meditation. It's like an exercise for your brain to help you stay present instead of stuck in your emotions and your mind. And I truly believe that is where we find enlightenment, when we can be in the now. And in order to do that, we have to be present. And so when we think about preparing to bring a human into this world, preparing to grow a human being inside of us, if there was one thing, if you think about all the people you've worked with, your experiences, that really made the biggest difference, what would be the last thing you would like to leave people with today?
That much more farther, faster, when we have support and alongside of us, and so that we know we're not alone, because that is really the silent journey of infertility, is that we feel like we are alone in our pain, that if the medical world can't help us, then there is no help for us. And we do believe that. And it's very empowering when you can take practices and apply them and notice and feel and see the difference. Watch things shift and change within you.
I love that. So you need a support system. Nobody did it alone. If you're an entrepreneur, nobody does that alone. If you're on your fertility journey, no one does that alone. We want you guys to be supported. So don't do it alone. Don't keep your pain to yourself. Find a support system, find the right community, and get yourself connected to the right team. So I just want to talk about that for a second. So I have had a client who came to me post miscarriage. Not only was fertility struggle, but also the postpartum, post miscarriage, and the mood and the depression and the stories that make us feel bad that we put along with the experience. And I'm happy to say I was able to work through that with the client, do nutrition and life skill support. And her new baby is now a 1-year-old. And I'm so happy and grateful. And this is the magic sauce of what happens when we take a holistic approach and we invite people in to support us and serve us on our journey. So you don't have to do it alone. The traditional medical system is not the only way. Okay. So if you know my story, I had health issues. I went to my doctor. He said, I'll be the healthiest person he'll see all day. And I thought, if this is what you call quality of life and healthy, well, then what the heck? And I would say a lot of other words, but we won't do that today. And then, I struggled with post-concussion, and I saw the top neurologist in Toronto also told me, you are doing everything and more that we could offer you. What do you want me to do for you? Okay, so at this point, I've already graduated nutrition school. I'm neurocentric trained, which is neuroanatomy, working with the brain through movement, visual, and proprioceptive exercises, and doing so much more. And when we actually can take full holistic approach with nutrition, energy, Ayurvedic studies, and so much more, we can truly tap into our full potential and what we're capable of. And what I find often is that people get to a dead end with the medical system and they stop there. That is not where it ends. I'm not saying it's not good. I mean, if I cut myself or I chop my arm off, I would go to the doctor, right? I would go to the hospital, but that's not the only answer. Those serve for a reason, but there is so much more you don't know, and there's so much more out there available for you. So look beyond the traditional medical system. How did I get down this road? My mom was struggling with health issues when I was a teen, and the traditional medical system failed her. So she looked into the holistic approach. I'm happy to say she's happy and healthy, and she was able to take that information and help me with it and help me overcome health ailments. And this is what's possible. So whether it's your fertility journey or your health journey, or just truly reaching for that optimal performance so you feel better, you look better, you have more energy, you have more vitality, you have a better quality of life. The way is holistic. The traditional way is great and it serves its purpose, and it is not the only way. So may you take a holistic approach to your life, to your fertility, and truly start to understand we just don't know what we don't know, and there's so much more for us out there to discover. So Ashley, where can they learn more about you?
Wow, thank you. That was just wrapped up so beautiful. And if you are on this journey, if you are on this path and you would like support, you can find a Holistic Fertility Coach Facebook group, which is a healing well for you to join and to be met where you're at. And also you can find with my coaching, with my yoga meditations, with my yoga classes on bly.io.
Awesome. And just so you guys know, the link is below. So if you want to know more about Ashley and get connected and truly own your fertility journey holistically and enjoy the process and have the support, then make sure you click that link below and you get connected with her. This is the new way of the future, treating people like a whole. So I'm so grateful to have you on the show today. Guys, may you own it. Expect magic and miracles. Stay happy, healthy, wealthy, and we'll see you on the next episode.